Welcome to Uncommon Pilates. Today I'm going to share one of my other exercise videos that I did during the 2020 lockdown. It involves a disc. If you have a balanced disc, you can substitute a pillow and some bands. So grab those and join me.
There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day.
The mat, but not pushing. So just imprint. I can still send a little tissue paper back there if I needed to. And then we're going to focus on our thighs. You're going to squeeze your prop and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. This is just going to organize our lower belly here, lower legs and hips. Squeeze and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. You'll feel all of this kind of coming in a little deeper as your pelvic floor muscles turn on, your inner thighs muscles turn on your pelvic floor muscles. Let's go again. Exhale, squeeze and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. We'll go for 4 more like that. Exhale, squeeze. 5. Inhale. Exhale. Deepening that squeeze. And release. And again, 2 more. Exhale, squeeze. Feeling that belly drawing deeper, but not pushing your back in. Exhale. Squeeze both legs evenly. Now, from here, you're going to squeeze the circle, or what? Sorry, it's not a circle. A bad habit there. Exhale, squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. So if you do have a magic circle, you can certainly use it here. Not too many people have circles at home, so I haven't been doing any classes with the magic circles. But if enough of you have a circle, I should ask. Right? If enough of you have a magic circle, I could do a class with the magic circle. Exhale, squeeze. Let's go for 4 more. And squeeze, release. See if you can find that end range that you had a moment ago. Squeeze, release, squeeze. Go for 1 more. Exhale, squeeze, and release. Take your feet a bit apart. Bring them a little closer if they've drifted, or if you just had to have them a little further for your pelvis. See if you can now bring them a little closer. And then they're about sit bone distance apart. We're going to do some pelvic tilts here. So belly button to your spine. Peel your pelvis off. You can keep your arms down for now. Inhale at your highest point, and then melt down. So we start to get those upper abs working, which is really the upper part of your rectus. Inhale. Exhale, scoop and lift. Now, if you really need, if your knees are drifting, keep that pad in between. You certainly don't have to get rid of it, and then lower your spine back down. So keep your pad, your pillow, whatever prop you had. Unless the ball is too big that you can't align your knees, then you want to get rid of it. Inhale at the top. Exhale and sink down. Use your muscles to let that air out like a tube of toothpaste. You got to squeeze the bottom as you go up. Squeeze the inner thighs. If you do have a prop, if not, just imagine you do, so you activate those inner thighs. Roll on it. We're going to go up again and stay there and come down a little differently. Keep the squeeze. Press through the heels. Lift up. Now hold it here. First off, before we come down, we're just going to tilt like we did earlier. Tilt the hips. So it's like you're going to drop your left hip a little bit, lift it back up. Drop your right hip, lift it back up. So you're engaging your glutes. Engage your glute. Tilt, squeeze your glute to lift you up. So tilt on the left, squeeze the left glute, push the hip up. Keeping the knees aligned. Don't let them drift. If this is bothersome on your back, just stay lower or go back to being on your back, with your pelvis down. And you can certainly do this that way. Now we're going to hold it here. We're going to lower the left hip, but what we're going to do is actually start at the rib cage. We're going to lower down this left side. It's going to feel a little weird. Come through the center, and let's just go straight up through the middle. So flat back pelvic lift. And then you're going to roll down on your right side. So take right rib cage down, and you roll out of your bridge, bone by bone, but emphasizing the right side. Come to center, even yourself off, lift up again. So we tilt our ribs and our hips and roll down on that left side. Center our hips, lift up, flat back. Roll, tilt your hips to the left and then, to the right, and then roll down on that right side, bone by bone. Center yourself, lift up, flat back. Exhale as you roll. Inhale, center. Exhale, lift. Inhale for a moment. Exhale, twist and roll down on that right side. Center it. And lift. We'll do one last one each. Twist to your, or tilt to your left, roll down on that left side. So if you imagine your spine is in the middle, and when you roll down in the middle, you're rolling through the spine. But now you're rolling on the outside of your right spine, to the right and to the left. Back to the center. From there, we're going to keep our legs as they are. You can walk your feet out just a little bit. We're going to cross through our arms. Keep the legs parallel, about hip distance apart. And then you're going to exhale and see if you can lift up just a bit and then lower back down. If that's not doable for you, don't lift. Think of just reaching those arms and release. So you get this reaching of the ribs into the front pockets. Exhale and inhale. Exhale. Keep it going. As you come up, you can do a little squeeze of your prop, or put your legs together and squeeze them together here. Little chin nod like you're holding a tennis ball there. Let's go for 3 more. Just kind of putting everything together, but adding the upper torso now. Hold it here for 5. 4, can you lift up a little more? 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. From there, release your prop for a moment, if you have one. Everyone's going to bring their legs together, arms wide, let the knees go to the right. We'll come back to a little more ab work, and then knees over to the left. But I thought we might need a little break. And then over to the side. Exhale, bring it in. Use that waist. So as you're twisting, now we're not leading with the hip, we're leading with the rib cage, like when we lowered our spine down. So you might be able to see it better on this side. So I'm going to lead with my abdomen and my ribs, moving sequentially through the spine. So I think ribs, middle waist, and then hip. So you can imagine one section at a time. Come back to the center. Stay here, keeping those legs together. Hands across the chest again, or you can even place them behind your head. We're going to exhale and lift, and then lower. Exhale and lift. So we're going again. Really going to get the abs today. Now you can stay with this. You do not have to do any more. If you want more, lift a leg. Exhale, scoop the belly, but don't lift your bottom. Imagine that imprint of your pubic bone to the belly button, and belly button, the back of the belly button to the mat. And that's what brings your legs up. Exhale, ribs into the front pockets. Exhale. Keep it going. You may see this again. See how time goes. But in a variation. 2 more each side. Exhale. Last one each. From here, lower your head. Place your arms down. Exhale, belly to the spine. Bring your right leg up. Bring your left leg up. Hold it here. We're going to toe tap. Now you can just stay like you are right here. If you want more, you can start to reach your foot out a little further towards the end of your mat. You have to challenge, that challenges your abdomen to stay in a little bit more, or activate a little deeper. Pull it in. Reach out. Think of that thigh. Reach. 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 Keep it going for 5. 4. Reach out. 3. 2. And 1. Hold the legs up. From here, we're going to slowly, you can keep your head down. You can put a pillow behind you. You're going to exhale, reach up. Hold it here for hundreds. If you want, you can grab onto some light weights. You can also, like I was saying with the pillow, or you can support yourself, or the ball, you can support yourself here so that you have this, you don't have to work so hard in your upper abdomen. So you can keep that there. Arms are going to be long. If you have the weights, grab them. Legs are in table. We're going to start pumping those arms for hundreds here. Inhaling, just building some heat. So this is your first option here. You can turn the palms and continue. And you can add on our toe taps again while you're upright. Just breathe. And focus towards your thighs. Keeping those upper abs, the upper abs pulling down and in. Take your legs a little faster. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. And release. If you have a prop, we're going to use it here. So you can rest out of that for a moment. If you have a prop, you're going to put it at your rib cage. So if you have a ball, even a pillow will work as well, towards your lower rib cage so your head is not on. We'll take a little stretch for this area. So place the hands behind your head. You're going to lean back. If you do not have one of those props, just lie down and get a nice stretch. Even just going to flat will be a little bit of a release here. So we're going to go into a little bit of extension, supported extension here. So again, if you have a pillow, the pillow is just replacing my little disc here. You won't go perhaps as much of an extension as I am, but you will still get some elevation in that rectus muscle. So now we're going to add on. So if you have that ball, you may have to place it a little lower or a little higher. You do not want your back to arch if you have a prop. So just make sure you're in the right spot. So if you're coming from flat, that's totally fine too. So from here, hands behind the head, lengthening. You're going to bring those elbows in slightly. We're going to curl and twist to your left. And then come back to center. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, center. So exhale, I'm drawing this together. And that's what brings me up. Inhale. Exhale. Twist. Twist. Lengthen and come across. Now, if this is not doing much for you and you are on a disc, or you could do this even on the Bosu if you have one of those. Couldn't do some of the other things, but this in particular, you could jump on the Bosu and lean back over it. If you have the ball and you want a little bit more, not so much the pillow, you can slide up a little higher so you go into a deeper arc and go across. Again, be mindful of your lower back. We're going to go for about 3 more each side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale, twist. Bring it across. When you lengthen, you're not completely letting go of your belly. You're just lengthening it, but you're giving slack of the rope, if you will. You're giving some slack, but you still have hold of it. Make this your last. Well, actually, we started to the left, so we got to do one more. I gave you a little bonus one there. Come back to the center, get a little stretch. One more time into that rectus muscle. And then release. We're going to roll on up. Take a breath at the top. You can leave that disc where it is, or the ball, or the pillow. And then we're going to do some roll downs. So legs together if you can. A slight separation is totally fine. If you need a little help on your roll up, this is a great option to grab that band and push wide as we do it. So I'll give you a couple variations. So I'll do one with the band, and I'm going to roll on down. You don't need any props if you could do this without any props. And we're just going to come to the disc or your ball, and then exhale and roll back up. So that's one version. Inhale. If you're able to go all the way down, feel free. Next one, we roll down with the weights. We're going to circle our arms, not above our head, so we're not arching, and then curl up. And that's the one we're going to stick with, whether you're disc or without the disc, and you roll it all the way down. You're going to roll to your disc. Stretch those arms up. Keep them in front of you where you can see them. Exhale and come back up. If you have the band that you're using, just forget about the arm circles, obviously. Open and around. Pulling in. So we're really trying to lengthen this lower midsection. Like I said, I have a pretty tight rib cage, and I know a lot of people do as well. So working through this area will help us to address the low abdominals a little bit more as we stretch out the upper thoracic area. Pull it in and up. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale, curl. Roll it. Keep that C curve in the front. Roll up. Again, you can do this with your knees bent as needed. Circle around. Exhale and come back up. Inhale at the top. You're going to separate your legs about the distance of your shoulders, not too much. We're going to take our arms in front of us with or without weights. If you have weights, make sure your shoulders stay back. You're going to take that right arm up and back. Sitting up tall, up and around. Actually, you can start with the palms up. That will be nicer on your shoulders. 2 more. Now we're going to stay to this side into this twist, and we're going to reach across and roll back up. Let's actually keep both arms up. Reach across and roll back up. There's a nice tendency as you go across with this back arm to roll in, and that's the traditional way, and you can certainly do that. Reach. But if it's too much to think about, keep that arm up. Lifting and lengthening up and over. 2 more. If this is too much with the arms out or the weights, just bend your knees and slide your arm along the side, and you can certainly do it that way. Come back to the center. Sitting up, circle the left arm back. And center, up and around, lift. Hold it in this twist. Reach across, and then roll back up. And dive. And roll back up. And reach. And roll back up. So I'm using this back arm for support right here. I'm reaching out in conjunction with my abdomen. Belly draws in as it feels that tug. Dive through your t-shirt. Last one. Bring it back to the center. Hold it here. We're going to take the arm to the left. Palms up. Center. Arm to the right. Little twist. Center. Open. And center. And open. And center. And rotate. And rotate. Maybe you go a little deeper each time. Open. Follow with your gaze. Reach. Keep the other arm in the center. Last one each. Twist. And twist. Come back to the center. Place the arms down. Place your feet flat. Get rid of your prop. Just keep it nearby if you do have a disc. Otherwise, you can just kind of set the others aside. You won't need them. We're going to roll all the way down. If you have weights, take them with you. Roll on down, bone by bone. Bring your feet underneath your knees. Make sure you have space above you. And then we're going to slowly just bring those arms straight up and back. Imagine you're standing and you're lifting those arms above the head. They're in line with your body. You can feel your ribs staying connected to the mat as you reach the arms above the head. And make sure your neck is comfortable. Otherwise, grab a prop, a rolled up towel, or if the pillow doesn't interfere with the arms, feel free to add that. Where it lengthens the back of the neck instead of shortens. Let's go for 5 more of these. Breathe. I like to exhale on the way up and inhale on the way down, but you can certainly interchange that. Oh, let's do one more because I've lost count. And bring those arms down. As we bring them down, we're going to lift our hips up. We're going to hold our hips up here. We're going to do that alternating we did again. So you can keep your hands on your weights if you want. and place them on your hips to make sure your hips are level. Get those shoulders into the body. Exhale, lift one leg up. Bring it down, switch. If this is too much to switch, where you're not ready to lift up, just keep your hips down and do it with the alternating we did earlier. We're just building on that. Exhale. Anchor your foot, press through that heel. Make sure when you put the leg down that you're not putting it in a different spot each time. Really get it underneath you so you can feel that glute. This time we're going to keep our right leg lifted. Hold it here. Now you can go to tapping. Just lower and lift, same side. If you want, put your hips down. If this is becoming too much, you can start to take that leg a little further. Again, stabilize your belly or go straight into a straight leg, lower and lift. Keep using this glute and hamstring. Again, keep your hips down if this is too much, or go and alternate. Couple with them down, couple with it up. 3 more. 1. Exhale, 2. Hold it up here. From here, we're going to lower our hips and lift. Now you could take this disc, if you have one, and put it right under your foot for a little more challenge and lift. Get some more hamstring. You could do it with a pillow, but it's not very stable and feels really, really awkward because you need some tension on that prop. You could do it on the ball, but it's a little less surface area. Let's go for 4 more if we can. 1. Feel those hamstrings. 2. 3. Hold it up here. 4 for a moment. Lower that leg to knee height. Hold for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the foot down. Lower yourself down. Put the disc aside if you have one. Let's just cross that ankle over the knee. Do a quick figure 4 stretch before we go the other side. Just working and releasing that right hip, although you might need to release that left glute more than the right. We will do that in a moment. And then come back to the center before we do our legs. Once again, we're going to grab our weights and we're going to lift up and back. Second set. Really good for shoulders. And actually, if you have a bar or access to a park with a bar, hanging is actually very healthy on the shoulder. If you can work yourself up to it. Having your toes supported on the floor while you're hanging from a bar is the way to start. Let's go for 5 more of these. Because that too needs a little stretch, that joint, and we can't really do it and create traction unless we have that tension, say, from the bar and gravity. 1 more. And then bring those arms down. We're going to lift those hips up. We're going to alternate again. Lift the left leg first. Lower back down, switch. Keeping those hips nice and level. You want more challenge, bring the arms up. Keep the knees nicely aligned. Don't let it drift. Anchor your shoulders into the mat. Belly to stabilize. Keep it going. Keep your focus towards the ceiling. We're going to end with the left leg lifted. Hold it here. You can tap and lift and lower and lift, or do it with your hips down if this is becoming too much. Put your arms down and start to reach that leg out. So choose which version, or you can go to straight leg. Belly in. Sandwich the middle as you lower. Sandwich the middle. Let's go for 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Hold it up. We're going to lower down. If this is the time to add your prop, if you have it. And you're going to lift straight up and lower straight down. Press through the heel and the bottom of the foot. Feel that glute and hamstring. Keep it going. Reach up through this left leg. Start that movement by tightening the glute and hamstring on your right side, then moving the torso. Let's go for 3 more. 1, 2. We're going to hold it up here. 3. Lower that leg to the height of the right knee. We're going to stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Put your foot down, lower on down. Get rid of your prop. You can pull those knees into your chest for a moment. Hug them in. Exhale as you bring them in. From here, you can take your pillow, grab mine again, or your prop, if you have the disc. So if you have a pillow, and you can do this, you can certainly do it without any of these props, but having a pillow under your pelvis allows you to lengthen your spine into the mat and gets you to lengthen your lower waist here. So you want it under your bottom such that you feel your belly button sinking down and you can extend your legs. So when you extend your legs, this is creating a little bit of a scoop. You can do it with a pillow. You can do it with a disc. You could do it with a ball if you have the right amount of give in that ball. And you're just going to stay here for a moment. So you feel like, and I'll move up just a bit so you can see better, so that you can feel like if I were to put a marble at my pubic bone, it wouldn't just stay there. It would roll towards my sternum. Okay, so I'm not arching where it would just maintain stability. It would melt. The idea is to melt the ribs and almost like you're in your pelvic tilt, in your belly. So we're going to stay here. If you're familiar with yoga, this is kind of like your legs at the wall. Now, we're going to just stay right here for a moment, feeling those ribs. And then we're going to keep our legs up here, at least the left leg, and we're going to lower our right leg down. Get a nice little stretch. See how low you can go without changing your torso. Bring it on up. Let's lower the left leg. Let's flex down and point up. And flex, oh, sorry, did I say flex down? Flex down and point up. Flex down and point up. Alternating those legs, stabilizing. You can certainly, like I said, do this with the without any disc, with your pelvis straight, just on the mat. This just gives you a little help, a little length. Nice and slow here. Get a nice little psoas stretch. Now we're going to keep our right leg down here. We're going to point and flex that right foot for 5. While you're here, 3. Nice and long. 2. And 1. Keep the toes softly pointed, small circles. 1, 2, 3. Stabilize. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Reverse for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're small. 7, 8, 9. Hold the leg there. We're going to take this top leg. We're going to circle around. 1 and 2 and 3. It's not big. 4. Hold on to the belly. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just reverse for 8. 1 and 2 and 3. 4. It's about stability. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it back up. Hold it here. Let the legs come towards you just a little bit. If you're able to, what I do with all my weights here, but you have your weights down, you can press down into them, or you can start to lift and lower back down. But you do not have to lift, just a little and down, or bend the knees and try to do a little pelvic tilt. You can hold on to your mat and help you as well. Just 2 more. And then rest. Let's bring our feet down for a moment. Readjust if anything's shifted. If you've slid your shoulders up, readjust them. And then do the other side. So we're going to lower and lift. Flex down, point up. Lower and lift. And really press down through that hamstring. Reach. Like I'm pushing a coil down. Push down. Don't just lower it. Reach it. And I'm reaching the right, in this case, the right leg up as my left leg goes down. Reaching the left leg up higher so it's not just stacked like a statue. It's extending to help. Now hold the left leg down. We'll go for 10 circles. 1, 2. Keeping the right leg where it is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Don't let your back arch. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold it there. Circle the top leg. 1. Doesn't have to be big. 2, 3. If it's too much, put the bottom leg down. 4, 5, 6, 7. Reach through that back leg. Bottom leg, excuse me. And reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5. Reach. 6, 7, 8. Bring both legs up from here. We're going to take both legs, actually just go from side to side. Reach. And reach. Just a nice, easy little tick-tock here. Keeping your opposite shoulder down, so that'll determine how far you go. And then we're going to take that. If you wish, you do not have to. We're going to try a circle. Reach around. Come back to the center. You can hold onto your mat in length and reach around. And center. Reach around. Squeeze those inner thighs. And around. See how far away you can reach without arching your back or losing control in your pelvis. And around. Keep it small. You can bend the knees if you need to. Reach. Go for one more. And around. And then bring those feet down. We need to do a little figure 4 on the left side because I forgot that on the other one. So bring your left leg, left ankle over your right knee. Let's do that figure 4 stretch. You can play with a little rocking of the legs side to side to see if that gives you to allow you to find maybe a different stretch. Bring it in a little deeper. And then release. So roll to your side. We're going to come on up. We're going to come onto all fours. Oh, there's my weight. All right, so we're going to come onto all fours. Keep your props close by. So we align our, actually you can have your hands out just a little bit in front of you if that feels more comfortable for you. Otherwise, right underneath. I know for me, it helps me to release my traps a little bit if my hands come out just a teensy bit in front of me. Knees right underneath my hips. First off, we're just going to do our neck here in case we had any little challenges with our neck. We're going to look up, just the neck, and then look down. And then we're going to look up. The eyeballs to the ceiling, and then look down, nose towards the navel. Without changing your torso, you're just keeping everything nice and stable. Press down through those arms. Looking up. And keep it going. Maybe you're going a little deeper each time as you do this. This is really good after you've been on the computer. You just pop yourself down and do a little bit of these, especially if you've been leaning forward. You know, with everybody's masks and the shields up and everything, it's hard to hear people, so I find myself jutting my head forward just to hear at the grocery store or where else? Mostly the grocery store is the only place I really go right now that has that. I haven't really been anywhere else. And then come back to neutral. From here, we're going to slowly begin to, actually, let's slowly begin to tuck our toes under. We'll start to lean back a little bit if you can. Get a little stretch in those feet. And then come forward. And then do that again. So you're going to lean back and then push yourself forward. So you can start slow and just kind of transfer your weight forward and back, or you can start to build on that. So you lean back, and then from here, I'm going to propel myself with the pushing of the feet, push myself forward. Lean it back, push myself forward. So walk your hands a little further forward if you want to do the fast propel. Lean back, push, lean back, push. So keep going. If you want more, lift from here. When you're in the back, you're going to lift your knees and push. And then come back. Stay with your knees lifted. Push. And straighten. Lean it back and push. And straighten, push. Go for one more. Bend the knees back, push. Propel yourself into a plank. And we're going to stay here in the plank. If you can come onto your elbows if you need to. You can walk your hands a little further forward if you need to. Lift your hips. We're going to stay for 15 of these, 15 counts. So 1, 2, you can always put your knees down, 3, 4, push down, 5, 6, 7, 8, belly in, 9, 10, 5 more, 1, 2, are we active through our arms? 2, 1, and rest. Come sit back in child's pose. Rest for a moment, breathe. From here, coming back to all fours, we're going to step your right foot forward. We did this a couple of weeks ago. I think we're going to do it here again. So we're going to bring our right foot forward, left toes underneath. We're going to straighten into a lunge position here. You can't see very well. So we're in a lunge position here. We're going to focus on this front leg. So my heel and knee are one long line. My hands can be here for support. We're going to lean it back, stretching that front leg out. Come forward. Lean it back. Stretch the front leg out. So just keeping the chest and thigh close. So I'm not worried about straightening my leg all the way. Reach. 2 more, and we'll hold the second one. You can let your head hang on this one and just breathe. Let gravity get you some length. Push down, though, through those legs to support you. And there's a little bit of drawing inwards towards the midline with the legs. Think of that inner thigh squeeze. Then with the legs lifted, bend your front knee, look forward. You may have to bring that back leg in just a little bit if you're struggling to really feel supported by your hips, or you got into too much of a stretch here. So stay lifted. And then if you can't, bring your arms alongside you, push through this front leg. We're going to lift up long diagonal here. You can have the arms alongside your body or behind you. And then we're going to do the same thing. You're going to extend and bend. Push back. But we're staying in this lengthened or leaning position here. Push through the whole foot so you got good visual. Am I pushing through that whole ball of the foot, or am I leaning out, knee tracking that second and third toe? That one when I was rolling out. Push. Couple more. So your torso lifts because your hips are lifting, not because you're lifting your torso. Push. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Hold it here. Bring those arms up. And then lower back down, keeping the long. You can have a micro bend to that front leg. I'm losing my balance. It's hard to speak and balance at the same time. Lean over and lift up. And lean over and lift up. Find your balance. Lean over. Lift up. And as you lift this time, stay reaching back, reaching back, reaching back. We're going to take that back knee, bend it down. Get a nice little stretch here. Hold that stretch. In fact, let's do a few of these. You're going to lift and lower as if you're going to put your back knee down. Lower. Let's go for 10 of these. So we'll go for 5 more here. Find your balance. You can grab onto a wall or a chair, or just hold a stretch if you don't want to go up and down. Just 2 more. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Now, we're going to stretch out through that back leg. If I can get my balance here. Stretch out through that back leg. Pitch your body forward. place your hands down. We're going to kind of come out of our plank here. So we're going to have our hands down, belly to the spine, lift your hips, slide your foot back if you can, and we're going to walk on back to our feet. And then we're going to roll on up. We're going to do the beginning of our control for balance. You're going to curl down. And if this is too much, just start to walk out and do that much, and then walk back while we go into our full plank. And then use your hips, lift, walk back. You've kind of been working on this. Bend your knees, roll up, and dive. Belly to the spine. We're going to walk on out. We're only going to do 2 of those, so we're going to walk on out, hold our plank again. So the arms can be slightly in front of you if you wish. It's a little bit more challenging. Push through those arms. Keep those hips lifted. Don't let yourself sag. Lift up. Hold. We'll only go for 10 here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Actually, go ahead and sit back if you wish in child's pose. Stay here for a moment. Do a little wiggling. Reach through those arms. And then come back up. We step our left foot forward. Make sure you have a little space. You're not stacked like one line with your legs. You want to have the legs in line with your hips. So not too narrow. So I'm not real close and I'm not real wide either. Just right underneath my hips with my legs. And then we're going to straighten that back leg. And then from here, we're going to extend and bend. So my leg is doing the work. My chest stays to my thigh. If it doesn't bother you to have your head down, you can look down and see all your hair that's falling because you didn't put it back. Pull it back. Let's go for 4 more. Reach through this back heel. Keep this thigh lifting up, so I'm not letting it drop or do its own thing. I'm keeping it part of the movement. And then hold this one. Get a nice little stretch. Really reach that left hip back. And anchor, put weight on this left leg. Really push into the floor. Just breathe. Then bend your front knee. Look forward. Now, if you don't feel like you're ready to lift your hands up, bring your back leg in. And then lift into a nice diagonal line. So we're on the diagonal. We're not straight up just yet. And then we do the same thing. Straighten and then bend. Push, straighten and bend. Stretch and push. Reach. Make sure the knee doesn't go past your toe. You can go right to the top of it, but not past it. 2 more. Press through the whole ball of the foot. Keep a micro bend to that knee. We're going to lift our arms or just a torso. If the arms are too much, just lift and lower your torso. Get used to lifting yourself. But as you're getting ready to lift, push through that foot still without straightening it. Can you do that? You have to tell the brain to stabilize and do an isometric with the leg while the torso gets moved. 2 more. And we're going to hold our torso up. Hold it here. We're going to bend that back knee. Now you can choose to just stay in this the whole time. Or we're going to go for 10 of these little squats back here. Little lunge squats here. So 1. And lower. 2. Put your hands on your hips if that's too much. Keep it going. 4 more. 1. Get a nice stretch through the psoas and the back side. And we're doing things a little differently to transition here. So we're going to push ourselves forward like we did before. Place our hands down, but instead of going into a plank, we're going to take our back leg and we're going to lift it up and get a little stretch. And then from here, so we get a nice little stretch. Take that leg behind your right. So I've got my ankles, I don't know if you can see them, ankles crossed, one in front of the other. And we're just going to be crossed over and then lean into the stretch. Breathe. So you feel those hips. If this is too much, lie on your back and just cross your knees and bring your knees to your chest. And just breathe here. But redoing this so that gravity can help us stretch out through our pelvis. And then switch. Bring your right foot flat. Stretch your left leg up. Get a nice little psoas stretch there. Mild, but you get something. Then take it behind your right. Sorry, yes, I said that right. Behind your right. So we're on our left leg, behind your right leg. And then press those legs towards each other and let yourself melt a little more. And see if you can get a little feeling or sensation in your hips, hamstrings. I'm doing two things at once here. Breathe. And then we're going to bring our feet next to each other. And we're going to bend our knees and see how low you can go. If your knees don't allow this, then just come to a bent knee, put your hands on your knees, put your hands on a chair, and just bend as much as you're able to. But if you're able to come down, or maybe you just, bring a couple blocks, or you're seated at the couch, you can hold on to something so you're up a little higher. But otherwise, see if you can come down and just get a nice little stretch here. And then we're going to lift our heels. We've done this one before too, and then lower back down. Working on this calf flexion, the Achilles stretch. But this is what you propel yourself forward when you walk. You push through those toes. So if you have no mobility in your feet, it's going to be a lot harder. And then that stiffens up, that creates stiffness in your hips because they work hand in hand together in your mobility to propel yourself through space. So if your feet are tight, most likely, and weak, your hips are also going to be that way as well. And then from there, release that. Let's slowly bring ourselves down, however you can. Getting yourselves down. Boy, we are running out of time. Okay, so I'm going to sneak this in as best we can. So we're going to come, we need to do some side work. So we're going to just prop ourselves up on our elbow. Now, if you have a prop, you can use it. You can use the pillow. The pillow won't do a whole lot because it'll do okay. You can also just do this if you want to forego a little elbow support here. And we're going to go into a side plank here. So press down, just so we get some upper body. You're going to lift those hips, hold it here. You can add the lift of this hip. You do not have to. And if you're on the pillow or a prop, just stretch out overhead. So choose whether you're going to do a plank or you're just going to do a side stretch. We're going to stay in either of those positions. We'll stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that. Bring your arm down, lower down, and lift. So if you're on a pillow or a prop, you're not going to lower and lift your hips, but you can stretch your arm above the head and then lower back down. And lift. And lift. When you're getting ready to lift, pretend you're moving through mud and you're pulling your belly in and pushing your hip up, pressing down through your shins. Let's go for 2 more. 1, lower, 2, and release. Let's switch sides, then we'll do our little stretches. So propping yourself up or bringing your prop underneath you. So you just do a side stretch here or come into your side plank. Go elbow under the shoulder, stack your knees, press down, lift your hips if you're able to, or just press down to your arm and just do that much. Working on lifting your hips, and then stretch the arm up if you have that ability, or lift the leg. So choose which one. You can even do straight legs if you want. I'm going to stay here a little longer. Really working this back hip, or bottom hip, I should say. And then you lower your hips. We're going to reach up and over and bring it down. So that's an option. We'll lift your hips, reach, and lower. And lift and reach, and lower. Lift. Keep it going, and lift. 2 more. Press down through the, not only the forearm, but your shin, your left shin and hip, or not the hip, but left shin and knee. And then bring it on down. We're going to sit. We're going to take our right leg, so left knee is going to be bent, and instead of crossing our legs in front, we're going to bring that leg up on top. You can certainly do this with the left leg straight, or you can just pull the right knee in, or lie on your back and pull your right knee to your chest. But if you're able to go into this little pretzel stretch here, we're going to breathe. Think chest to the thigh. So I'm not forcing my twist. I'm just bringing them in together. Hold it here. And just breathe. Feel the expansion of your rib cage. And then if you're able to, this may not work for everybody, bring that foot up and let it open. If that is not doable because of your knee, take that foot out, let that knee open, and come forward. So choose which one is, for me, it depends on my hips that day. So whichever works, either over or bring the leg out in front of you, or go into just cross-legged and lean forward, if that's a doable for you. See which one works. And just breathe. And then release, let's switch sides. So again, you can have the leg out, cross, you can pull it in, you can lie on your back and cross, pull that left knee in. It's nice to do things in different positions though. So pulling that thigh into your chest, lifting up taller. Just letting this right leg just melt into the mat. Try not to use it to help you. It's probably more for me because I like to do everything. That's why I guess I don't make a good dance partner. I like to lead instead of follow. And then allow that knee to open. Maybe it's just that much, and that's totally fine. Maybe bring that leg in front of you. That's totally fine. Whatever you can, just let it open. Otherwise, bring it up and then lean into it. You can use your hands for a little propulsion here forward. And just let the hips kind of open and melt. But don't let yourself crunch down. Lengthen out. If we crunch down, we'll compress the spine and the nerves can't, and the muscles can't release to create space. Breathe. And then release. Let's just finish up. If you have circle weights, grab them. Choose a leg position, and we're just going to do arm circles. Just make sure you have space around you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale around. Inhale. Exhale. Only going this direction. It's our open direction. And release. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week in person. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.